I'm Jordan. Thank you for coming tonight. I manage this Venture X. We're so excited to be hosting and being a part of Tech Hub South Florida. So thank you for being here, everybody. I know it was stormy and probably hard to get here, but thank you for coming. Just to give you a little snippet about Venture X, we have private offices that you can rent out monthly. We have one-person private offices all the way up to a 9-person. We also have community memberships where you can bring your laptop in, come and hang out in our lounge area, just to get out of the house. You know, I know a lot of people are working from home right now, but it just gives you another option to get out and work in a good place where everybody's collaborating. We have conference rooms, we host events, all of the above. So if you have any questions or you need a workspace, let me know. I have my business card up front. But thank you for coming, and I'll hand it over to Nikki.
Thank you, Jordan. Yeah, we're actually really happy to be back in the Venture X space because I was just talking to Ryan that we love this space, so thank you, Jordan. I actually wanted to see also, do you think you could help me, one of you, just by like pressing the next on my slide? Because we were saying we don't have a clicker. Because that would be super helpful. It's literally just the right arrow. Yeah, so I'm going to give you guys a little brief overview. So Tech Hub South Florida. So today we have Saas subscription management with Stripe API. We were just talking about this, so we know it's Adnan, but goes by Dado. Much easier, cuter name. I like it. So he's going to be our speaker today from DSS. They're also one of our members. And if you want to go to the next slide. And our event sponsor, Kerry Stamp Company. We've got Ryan that's going to say a few words for us just after this. And do always want to say thank you to them because they've actually sponsored all of these, I think almost this whole year you guys have done. So thank you guys very much for that. Building South Florida's Tech Hub is our mission statement. So next screen you'll see a little bit of how we do that. Our community creed. So Tech Hub South Florida is wholeheartedly committed to building a welcoming, collaborative, and inclusive community for all. We put inclusivity first, engage with others, are considerate to all, and don't sell to people. Excuse me. So with that said, of course, we want to invite everybody to the table and make them feel welcome because we are very much a community-based organization. And Tech Hub South Florida, so we are a tech nonprofit, Miami through Martin County. We currently have about 200 plus corporate members. We are a corporate member-driven organization. And here, the purpose is to foster technology, innovation, and creativity in South Florida. Sorry, if you want to go to the next screen. Okay, so some of our current members. Like I was saying, we've got over 200 corporate members. These are just a few of them. Digital Resource, Dedicated IT, Sama Labs, NextEra Energy, Florida Crystal. So we've got startup companies, like I know they're on here, Boca Code. Shout out, Vanessa. So the startup companies all the way to the much larger, like your FPLs and carriers and so on. So what's really cool about our organization, unlike a lot of them, is that we've got everybody in between. And next screen. So I'm not going to go through this in detail, but again, because we are a corporate member-driven organization, we have different memberships. Some of those benefits are speaking opportunities, having a member profile on the website, exclusive peer groups, and so on. But if anybody's interested, please let me know. We also have individual memberships that are only $100 a year, and you get a cool little individual member box sent to you and everything with some t-shirts and some goodies, but that way you can, of course, get involved. Our events, so Monday nights, alternating every other Monday, we have these tech talks. We do them in West Palm, Boca, Fort Lauderdale. The Fort Lauderdale location is downtown Fort Lauderdale, and then Miami. And again, we alternate them every other month, so at least every other month we'll have one in each of those locations. Our community coffees, those are, and our podcast, they actually alternate on Tuesday mornings at 8 a.m. The community coffees are panel discussions, so they can be everything from super technical discussion to something that's talent related. It can be something that's community related, maybe something on funding or startups. Those are pretty broad discussions on a lot of different topics. The podcasts, again, those are Tuesday mornings at 8 a.m. alternating as well. Typically, any kind of like business leaders, technology leaders, people that are in the investment or funding side, startups, just highlighting people that are here in our local community and doing some pretty awesome things. Last one is our Lunch and Learns. Those are on Fridays. I think those are alternating Fridays as well from 12 to 1. Typically, those are very introductory type classes. So if you're, maybe you're interested in, I don't know, JavaScript or Python, or you want to do basics of web development, whatever it is, we'll often have things that are also personal. So like, for instance, if you're working on personal and professional development together, we'll do those as far as workshops as well, or something for startups like working on your pitch. So we kind of will alternate those as well. Next one, the resume distributor. So anybody that's looking for a job, we do have a job board on the website, but if for some reason you don't find the perfect job and you just want to push out your resume to a bunch of different companies, the resume distributor, you create a really simple profile, upload your resume, and once you hit submit, it goes to all of our members all at once. And last but not least, so our Slack channel, it's a pretty active Slack channel. I think we've got about 4,500 or so members right now. It's techhubsouthflorida.org/Slack. And there's actually a bunch of different channels that you can get involved in there as well, including if you're a member, there's some member exclusive channels also. Last thing is to be added to our e-newsletters that Ronnie does. Shout out to Ronnie. They go out every Monday afternoon. You can actually just text us your email and get added to that. It's 561-250-7206. And again, just text us your email and we can add that for you. What, say it again? Oh yeah, well yeah, so we've got Telegram that we just started. We're also on Clubhouse and some other like cool platforms too. So we're trying to get out there and see who else we can find and connect with. But yes, thank you for reminding me of that. And Ryan, if you'd like to come up, we'd like to hear a little bit about Kerry Stamp.
It's interesting actually having a microphone. I'm usually on the Zoom screen too, so this is kind of nice. First of all, I just want to say, you know, on behalf of Kerry Stamp Company, we love supporting Tech Hub South Florida. And Nikki, we love watching you guys grow in so many different ways. So I'm happy to be here on behalf of Kerry Stamp and see you guys live and in person. All right, with all that said, so Kerry Stamp Company, we are a local boutique financial firm located in Tequesta, Florida. So it's just a little bit further north. And what we do is we work with individuals, families, businesses, business owners, and we talk to them about what's important to them. And what do I mean by that? It could be anything from retirement planning to succession planning for your business, 529 plans for your grandchildren, your children. It really comes down to what is most important to you as the business or the individual in the family. And then we come up with a personalized strategy plan for you to help you achieve those goals. So, and that could be like a financial plan. It could be talking about your portfolio. Again, it comes back to you, what's most important. And then we partner together throughout your lifetime to help keep you on track. So, is it for you? I always say maybe, but we're here as a resource. And don't ever be afraid to even just ask the question, Ryan, I've been thinking about this, is it for me? I can dive more and deeper into that. So, again, I'm Ryan Swenson, I'm financial analyst with Kerry Stamp.
Thank you. So thank you again, Ryan. And I will let you guys know how it goes. So I was just telling Ryan that I emailed one of their staff members to see if they can help me. So we'll see how it goes. Let y'all know. And just a quick shout out also, I've been seeing a lot of what you guys have been doing at Kerry Stamp, also like the beach cleanups and things that you guys have been doing in the community. So I love that you guys love being a part of us because you guys are so much, very community-based to give back to, our local South Florida community. So thank you too. So of course, man of the hour, Dado. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and then feel free to go ahead and just let me know the slide if you need it.
Okay, sure. Hey guys, Dado. Well, full name Adnan Dado Kljuco, and I've done probably 10 or 20 of these, but I took a break in the past 3 years, so probably most of you guys didn't see me. But when the South Florida Palm Beach Tech Hub that started, I was very active. And then, I got lazy. Why not? Everybody else got lazy. So what I'm going to show over here is, this is a topic that we actually took out of 3 topics. This one is the one that people voted on that they want to hear. So you can go on the next slide. Yeah, those colors are kind of awesome. Yeah. So what is actually going on today with a lot of businesses is trying to figure out how to do subscription And with that, they're trying to understand how to actually use technology. And there's this word Saas that is just being thrown everywhere, and people don't use it a lot of times correctly, but there is actually a lot of good benefits when you have a business that already have customers and you want to offer multiple services. Now you're growing, you're trying to figure out how all that is expanding without actually too much spending time. You can actually get a service online that can help you to do this thing. And so this is what customers are going to get by you expanding. They're going to get the fixed price at the regular frequency, so that means that there's going to be monthly for a service that they pick, instead of them getting, when something is broken and they call you, like your AC, and it's right away $10,000, you can do that monthly or something like that, or for fixes or any of that kind of stuff. So ideas are thrown everywhere, and businesses actually succeed. So renting clothes as a service, that works. People actually do it. And what happens? You can actually do a service that you use something only for a couple hours, and that's how much you pay for it, right? And there's benefit to having that too. So why customers still like it? The no long-term commitment. Before you could buy a PowerPoint, what's it called, the Adobe Photoshop, and you're thinking, okay, I spent just $700 on this thing, I'm going to use it for the next 10 years. 3 years later, there's a completely new version. It's not anymore compatible with anything that you're doing. You have to buy it again, and every 3 years like that. Now you actually can pay $20 a month and use Photoshop as much as you want. So no long-term commitment. And all of that actually allows for customer convenience. Why businesses want to do it? Because now you can actually calculate how much revenue you're going to have at the end of the year. So if you have X amount of customers, you can say, okay, I'm going to charge them every month this much, or they subscribe to a full annual fee, and they can leave, but there's still, you can account for that stuff. Economy of scale, you can actually reuse your resources. If you have servers, you can reuse the servers for multiple customers at the same time. We're building software at DSS where we actually have to figure out how just one installation of the same software can be used by 140 hospitals. And we figure out a couple ways of doing it, and there's always challenges with that, but that's what engineers do. Longer lifetime value. This pretty much means that your software, when you build it, now you can extend it. Before it was like every 2 years you have to actually rewrite your software just to catch up. And now you can actually have the same software be turned into a service and run for 3, 5, or 10 years as a service and never actually touch it. You can just maintain it a little bit. And there's always more benefits that you can keep offering to your customers as a business as you learn from them and you put that into a service. Next. All right, so what I'm going to talk about is Stripe API. This is the technology that I prefer using. I'm sure that there's other technologies, but when I first started working with this kind of stuff 8 years ago, Stripe was just new. And before that, the only other option was you could reach out to a bank and ask them for their gateway. And they're going to provide you some gateway numbers, and you're going to try to get your software to talk to their gateway and do a bunch of SOAP handshakes and envelopes and all that stuff. And it was cumbersome, and it didn't always work. And PayPal was kind of like that, but everybody hated it. So Stripe comes along, and they figure out, hey, we're going to be a huge gateway for everybody. Every bank talks to us, and we talk to everybody else. And they made it easier. So there's, of course, Stripe competitors. Google does it right now. Amazon does it now. All the other big ones do it. Microsoft, of course. So I'm going to just focus on what Stripe does and why I like working with it. So the 3 main points is what the Stripe can offer you is that you as a business, you use it for making payments, for doing billing, whether it's monthly or annually, and knowing who actually is using your services. So the account that is generated through a credit card that somebody leaves on the form, it's not actually saved on your servers, it's saved on Stripe servers. And that's how they can on and on authorize different kind of purchase plan or a purchase product over and over without actually reauthorizing or adding credit card information again. Let's go next. So what is new with Stripe as of recently, as of this year? There's something that it's called WebSockets, and it existed before, but Stripe started using it in a very smart way. So there are subscriptions, invoices, and quotes that you will be creating as a business. And usually what happens, you have a set of customers, they subscribe, and now their credit card is being charged monthly. And then one of the customers, their credit card is not, it is either expired or something happened to it, right? So now with WebSockets, let's go to the next slide. With WebSockets, what's going to happen is the Stripe allow you to set up for all these events that can occur, and whether it's the monthly payment that didn't go smoothly or somebody's credit card expire or something like that, you're going to get a call onto your code from Stripe, and then you can expect that event to be always looking the same way. So you have to recognize what to do when either of these events happen. So I'm showing over here an if statement for if the invoice was paid and everything is successful. What can happen is if Stripe API was busy at the time when a customer typed in their credit card, and then 2 days later, they got to it. And they said, okay, now we're done with this guy. We're going to send it to the service A that was trying to get this credit card. My code was sitting and doing nothing for that time, and Stripe API called it with the WebSocket and pretty much woke it up and said, hey, your invoice is paid. Now you can actually process and let your customers start using your application. So this is something with the WebSockets. So, the code itself is fairly simple. It's up to you to do all the database calls and events. But what is Stripe allowing right now is all these, here we see an example of prevent failed payments, manage failed payments for subscriptions. And you can actually say how many times you want to call your code when such status happen. When the cancel subscription occurs, do you want to stop it and say, I'm going to connect them actually to a real person to say, why are they doing that? And then connect that to a chatbot or do another thing. So you can start different kind of processes that you want your API to keep doing. Manage disputed payments. If a customer actually calls a bank and says, I'm disputing this, I'm not paying them anymore, you're going to receive an event that you can catch with your code, and you can actually deal with it later. It's not going to go unnoticed, and that you need to see it at the end of the year. And then 3D Secure is actually something that in Europe is used and parts of Asia. Different way of authorizing the credit card users. And Stripe allows that too, so you can actually request extra information from the customer when they supply their credit card. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, so at the end, when you figure out all of that with Stripe, you still have to do some work as a business owner. So what I actually managed to do is create a portal that you can manage the organization that you own, right? And if you have 3,000 customers, you should be able to just log in onto a Saas application and see all of those customers and see how those payments are occurring monthly and how the invoices are being mailed out to them, what are they doing, anything that they're complaining about. You should receive all that in one place and allow customers at the same time to use that same place for them to change subscription too. So if they decide I'm not going to pay anymore monthly. I'm going to do a full year payment, or I'm going to stop at some point, or do quarterly. Any of that stuff. Stripe allows extension. So what I was able to do is actually create a portal that I could see part of my data, but then as soon as the customer wants to actually see his part of the data, then I do an extension to Stripe and let them do all of that securely without actually accessing my code. So that way I don't have to actually be compliant with some of the laws that are saying I have to have extra security just on my code. Stripe takes care of that part, even if the user is changing their credit card information. I think one more slide. No, this is it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what I wanted to talk about. And yeah, thank you guys. I hope that was, you can reach out to me and find me on LinkedIn.